they do it's uploading.
That's most of.
Right.
All right. You said your name was Lynn, right?
Lynn Mooney.
Hi, I'm Jacob.
Hi, Jacob.
S-
And Michelle.
Yep. So our first question is, how long have you been living in Utah?
A year.
A year. And you said you lived in
West Roxbury.
before that. And how long did you live there for?
From the time I was 6 years old.
Time you were 6 years old.
And I'm 80 now. No, I'm 80. All I have to do is look at my hands, right?
So West Roxbury is like,
You know where that is, right?
yeah,
It's
like
just 10 minutes down the street.
10 minutes, yeah. So it's like you've lived like in the general area
Yeah.
of New York for a long time. Over the course of your lifetime, what is like some things about this area that has changed in a noticeable way? Is there any
Well, I'm
businesses that have
specifically
popped up?
talking about West Roxbury. From the time I moved there when I was 6, it was a historically Irish Catholic part of Boston, and it's not necessarily that way anymore. It's very integrated and mixed.
Yeah. Is anything like types of businesses changed or types of families that moved in?
Well, when I was a kid, or even when I was young married, because when I got married, I bought a house in West Roxbury and lived there. And one of my daughters lives in that house till today. We had what might be called mom and pop stores on Center Street in West Roxbury. We had a Kennedy Butter and Eggs. We had a Morris's fruit stand. We had a Brigham's ice cream, and all that is gone. There's no mom and pop stores anymore. I don't think anywhere.
But do you think that would show? Is it more of a sense of community than say?
Yeah, it was definitely a sense of community. Like I said, and everything we did was revolved around the church. I was in St. Teresa's Parish, and we were always in friendly competition with Holy Name Parish, and everybody went to the same schools,
Yeah.
which isn't the case anymore.
No, now there's a couple more options. Some more public schools and private schools have also opened. Over the past couple of years, has there been like a major crisis or challenge that's been noticeable, like a severe weather storm or like a financial crisis, and how has that affected West Roxbury?
Well, of course, in the 70s, there was the busing crisis, and that really changed the neighborhood. And then another big event was the blizzard of '78. That was a big. You guys are too young, but I was working for the city at the time, so I had to go to work, and we worked with the National Guard to get the sick people to the hospital and things like that. But other than that, I don't think nothing that comes to mind. Those are two big events that changed the neighborhood a lot.
And from your perspective, do you think that people misunderstand your generation?
Yeah, sure.
In just any kind of sense.
Okay, are you?
What do you mean misunderstand? Misunderstand from what perspective?
Alex and
You
Adam.
think they have
Two A's.
misconceptions about just in general about
Harry Cohen.
your generation?
Like what it was like
Nice
growing
to
up,
meet you.
or what we think
Nice
happened,
to
what
meet
might
you.
not have actually been the case, or just any
I don't think that,
I have lived here
for instance, your
3.5
generation
years.
probably doesn't appreciate how much everything's changed from when. I often tell the story. I have 3 daughters.
Living in Wingate.
When I got married, bought a house in West
Very
Roxbury,
good for me. I moved here from
and
Arrow,
never locked my door.
where I've lived.
yeah.
And I lived on a street off of Lagrange Street. You know that street in West Roxbury? It's a pretty major street. It cuts all the way through.
I continued to live
I think you
in our condo for about
You know,
a
I
year,
used to put the playpen out on the
decided
sidewalk
to
and
move to be
put my
near
daughters
one of
out
my
on the
children.
sidewalk.
I have a
I
son
mean, you would never do
in
that
North
today.
Carolina
More
and
dangerous.
a daughter in Needham.
You would never. I
decided
mean, there's a
to
lot
move to
more
Needham to be close to my daughter.
sense of safety now, worrying about your safety. I mean, times have just changed, and of course, right now they're very
I
radical.
like the Needham community.
Is that,
It's a
do you
nice,
think because like the
a
sense
nice
of
town,
community has
very
like kind of
accessible.
shifted to like
I
more
can reach
individualism?
all of my doctors
I
and do
just
all
think
of my
that,
shopping within 1 to 2 miles
people have
of
changed.
where I live.
I mean, it isn't so much.
Needham seems to be a nice town.
We led a much
I
simpler
have
life
a grandson
than
who
the
went
way
to Needham High School.
life is today. I think.
Is that
Yeah,
like to do with
I know
like
you do.
technology or
I
anything in
have
particular?
2 grandsons.
Well, I think technology is part of it. I
from
think
my
technology
daughter
has
who lived
changed.
Yep.
The older one,
You know,
David,
for
lives
your
in
generation as
California,
opposed to my generation.
and the younger one,
I actually
Michael,
worked in technology
lives
my whole
in
career.
Reading.
And I tell my grandkids,
Michael is
you
married,
can't believe the difference
has a little
between
baby girl
when I was a kid
named Ava, and so
through
she,
2 generations,
Ava,
through my
is
children
my
and then my
great-granddaughter.
grandkids. I mean, it's
And
the
Michael's
technology
older
that
brother,
has
David,
unbelievably
who
changed.
lives in California, is
I tell
single,
my grandkids, you know,
and he's
when I was a kid,
computer engineer,
when we got
Michael, who
home
lives
from going
here,
out somewhere,
is a pilot for
we'd
American
run into the
Airlines.
house like mad to see what kind of messages were on the answering machine. And there was, you know, there was one phone, you know,
Yeah.
you didn't have to know, like
favorite
my
part about
grandkids say,
Needham,
oh, I have to get right back to this person because they're texting me. I said, well, you know,
Well, I
we couldn't do
guess-
that one. And then we'd have to take
Yes,
turns
I
using the
I
phone,
like the
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't that way
area
today.
near Needham High School.
So there's been a dramatic change in how people live and how they communicate,
I
and
like to go
you know, it's just
have
it's a
lunch
lot
and
different.
dinner sometimes
that
with some
impacts,
friends
like,
or my daughter.
People's
My
like
daughter
just
and
the
I
culture,
go out to lunch
culture in general.
every Wednesday, and we have a
Well,
system
I think
where
the way
driver
society works has
pays the
changed.
bill and the passenger
You know, the way
picks the restaurant.
like your
And every week
generation
we switch.
makes
So we
plans
like to go to
or
places like
following, you know,
Fresco,
and then of course there's the
which
whole
is near the high school.
bad underside of a lot of that, you
like
know,
to
the
go to
bullying and
places
all that.
like
I mean, that just didn't exist.
A lot of
And
nice,
I'm just 2 generations away from you
homey,
guys,
friendly restaurants. in
but it is a
Needham.
lot changed.
Yeah.
I don't think what hasn't changed is, I think parents still try really hard to teach social norms to their children.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're good parents,
Well, I grew
the
up
things
in
that
Baltimore,
were important to us when we grew up
and
are just as important. And I say that because I have 3 children
Baltimore has changed quite a
who
bit
have children.
over the years.
Those
since
children
I
are
was a
now
kid
in
living
college
there.
and graduate
It's
school, and
become much more of a
but underneath, I still see the same principles that I was brought up under.
it has a lot of ethnic
You know,
neighborhood,
they care about other people. They do a lot of
Italian,
social
Polish, and so on.
activities. I don't mean social from a partying point of view. I mean
Symphony
volunteering,
orchestra, which I
you know,
like
taking care of
classical
people.
music.
They think that's important.
The downtown area of Baltimore.
They might not go to
near
church
the
like we did,
harbor,
but
where
I think
ships come
underneath
in,
all of the
has
differences,
grown
there's still
significantly
some
over the years.
underlying principles that are still important to parents
New
today.
shops
Do you
and
think that there's more like soft
activities
parenting
in the
though now?
harbor
And
area.
do you think it still
So
works
it's a fun place to
like
be and
the way
have a good
people
time.
used to parent when you were younger?
Now, what do you mean by soft
I
parenting?
think
Loose
I think,
parenting?
Yes, Baltimore has
Letting children do more than,
improved. Baltimore,
Basically, or like not
in
telling
the time
them
that
no.
I was growing up,
oh, that's
was a
different. Not telling them no.
segregated city.
Well,
Blacks
I really don't know. I don't think I could answer that because I'm not aware.
separated.
I only know,
in
you know, my own
restaurants,
family, and I was never in the education. I have a daughter that's in the education field, has been all her career.
over a period
You know,
of
she could
time,
tell you the
through
answer to
the
that question, but
60s,
I worked in technology,
school
so I was never,
integration, all of that is a
wasn't that
thing of the
close to
past.
seeing how
So
kids are.
it's much more of
And then the next question would be, was there like
than it used to
a
be.
major decision that you ever had to make in your life, and what guided you through that decision?
Well, I'm
Is
right
that kind of like a
now
hard
I'm
question?
getting enthusiastic about the Patriots.
Well, along the way, you have a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
be cheering
decisions.
for
Yeah.
them
You know, a
tomorrow.
lot of, you know, do I get married?
Big game,
Who do I marry?
and the Seahawks.
Where do I
are
go to school? You know,
favored
you'll
to
be
win,
facing
but
that in a few years.
I think the Patriots are gonna do the job.
I guess was there something that like helped you through those decisions?
Yeah.
My parents were very strict.
Yes. Yes.
But I went to Catholic schools. You know, until I went to graduate
When I
school, I
was
went to
growing
Catholic
up in
schools,
Baltimore,
which at that time were very
when I was
strict.
about age 14,
So
I would say,
I had sort of
my
people
cousin
leading me, you know,
invited me to join a club
helping me.
that he was
A big
member of.
decision when I
It
was a math
club of
major,
kids who were interested
and you'll laugh at this story.
in the
When I was applying to
possibility
college,
of
I wanted to go to
forming
BC
a
because I
state
lived
for
right down the
Jewish
street from
people, which
BC.
is now called Israel. It
And
didn't
women at the
exist
time
that
could not go
time.
to the School of Arts and Sciences.
So
You could only be a teacher or a
We
nurse.
had,
You couldn't
kids
go
in
be a
this
math major.
club. It was
That's,
more of
you
a
know,
youth movement
abhorrent
than
to
a club
today.
because
I
it
mean, you
had
would never do anything like
chapters
that
all
today.
over the world.
So that was a big
So
decision on where I was going to go to
we
school so
were
I could be a math
Interested
major.
in
Because
somehow
in the 60s, not too many
creating a
women went
home
into
for the
math.
Jewish people.
So that's completely different today.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I
met
mean, just in
my wife,
2 generations, you know, my
Who
children
was a member of
and their
this
children. I have 6
youth
grandchildren.
organization in
And
Washington,
then I have all these
D.C.,
little great nieces and
which is
nephews
only
running
about
around. I
a
have another 7 of them.
45-minute drive from where
I'm
I
the
was.
oldest in the family, and I have a
So this
1-year-old great
organization
niece.
had a
She's the
summer
youngest,
camp
so
in
of the
Annapolis.
immediate family.
So I
I think
first
our
met
math
my
teachers
wife
are both
at this summer
both
camp.
women, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
14, she
Yeah.
was 13.
Well,
Anyway,
they were a little
When we
younger,
got to our
so
later
Yeah.
teenage
they didn't
years,
have to make those
we
decisions. But
got to be seniors in high school.
you know, those
She in
lots of big
Washington,
decisions,
me in
just life
Baltimore.
decisions in general that
We
everybody
both
has to make.
decided
So just like
that we
having
wanted to go
someone
to
or like a
Israel
support
to
group
live
help you through those decisions
permanently.
really helped.
And so
Not a support group the way that support
In
groups and
19
therapy is used
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
49,
but you know, I always had my family.
1949,
Our
we went
grandmother's
to
also.
live
She was a
on
math
a
teacher.
farm
Oh,
in
is
New
that right?
Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, how old is
And
she?
this farm had
She must be about my age.
members of our youth organization
Oh, she's a lot younger than me.
from all over the United States
Oh.
and Canada who came there. We had
She was
the
35.
summer.
My mom was
This
10.
She was 35 when she came from Russia?
Yes.
was operated by the youth
So
organization.
right
And we
as
had
in the fall,
an advisor, a local
like the
farmer,
USSR,
who was teaching us
roughly that time.
how to
Yeah.
be farmers so we could go
Yeah,
to
one of
Israel
my
and
grandfathers,
live on a kibbutz and
my
be
mother is
productive
Polish,
members
and my
of
father
that
is
society.
Irish.
Yeah.
And that was, you talk about a decision, that was like
Well, it was good
an
training for
interracial
us.
marriage in the
We
50s
had
in South Boston.
we had cows, we
And
had
my
chickens,
mother's
we were raising
mother and
corn
father
other crops.
lived in Poland,
Yeah.
The
and they
local
lived in
farmer
Poland
was
when the
teaching
Russians
us
took over
how
Poland.
to do things
So my
properly,
grandfather had to serve in the
how to
Russian
raise
army.
animals and how to
But then
plant
he
sow
and my
crops.
grandmother came over to the United States.
While we were there, I proposed to my wife.
And on my
She accepted my
father's side,
proposal.
his mother
My
was
wife
from
the only
Ireland,
child.
but his father was one generation removed, but he was also from
parents
Ireland.
Yeah.
Wanted to have a big
That's
wedding,
an
which we
interesting
were
story.
not
Yeah.
interested in.
Yeah.
We just
My mother
wanted
used to
have
take
a
me over
quick
to
wedding and
because she
pack
lived
our
in Cambridge. They
suitcases
lived in Cambridge
and
when
get
she
on a
first
ship
when
and
they
go to
first came
Israel.
over here, and that was a whole community of Polish
Sylvia's
people.
mother,
And I used to laugh at her. I used to say they all look the same.
since she was an only child,
Like my grandfather, you know, they had
Please
brown
have
faces.
a
And
decent wedding for friends
Strachey.
and family. So we
it's
both
like,
agreed to that.
They both had
So we
different
left the
racial,
farm in New Jersey
just different races.
and we
Do you
got
have like
married
different like traditions
in
and customs that
1951.
you do?
Oh, yeah.
March of
We,
1951.
of course, we lived in an Irish community, so we did all that. And then with my mother,
Working to save up some money.
a book that I still have
Finance our trip to Israel.
that she gave me when I got engaged is all the Polish recipes. She used to make the Polish food, and
52,
and she wanted my girls. I have 3 girls to take the
with
like you have the Irish step dance. You also have the Polish folk dancing.
youth movement.
And there was a
We're all
place in
headed
High
to the
Park
same
that the
kibbutz
pastor was
in the
Polish,
desert
and he used to.
Israel.
They used to have the. I said no,
So,
they're not taking
that
either
was
Irish step dance or
An amazing trip.
Polish dancing.
None of us had
One of
much
my
money,
granddaughters did do the
but
Irish
those
dance for a
days
while,
we
and I
didn't
was
need
like,
much
oh my
money to
God.
travel in
My
Europe.
girls always swam, so when I went to my first fesh, I said, this is like going to the regionals for swimming. I mean,
Just being
Is
tourists
that what it's called?
before
the fesh.
Fesh?
Yeah, fesh,
going
the
to the
Irish
land
fesh.
of Israel to live our lives.
I've never heard anything you called like that. So
The fesh?
no, I've never heard it.
Oh yeah, they wear the costumes, all the embroidered costumes. They wear the wigs with the curly hair.
Was a lot of fun.
I've never heard of
traveled
it.
The costumes cost a fortune,
France
and then
and Italy.
you have certain dances. Well, you've seen like
We
the
finally got on a ship.
what's the name of that fellow that does the Irish step
Which
dancing?
is the Hebrew word for land.
I can't remember it
the
right now,
land.
but
And we
yeah,
took this
they have
ship
these
from
fancy embroidered costumes.
Italy
We have one of our former
to port of Haifa in Israel.
event planners here,
Got off of that ship.
Megan. She took Irish step for years. I think she just quit a few years ago
From the
from her
kibbutz that we
time
were going
when she was a
to,
little kid all the
and
way
he
up.
drove us
But I didn't
from
like
the
it at
port
all.
of Haifa down south
I went to a few of those
desert.
fishes. I said, oh, I'm out of this. I'm a good grandmother, but,
Kibbutz was. And so
Were you ever a swimmer? Because you said you're
I wasn't a swimmer because,
That was an amazing
girls didn't do
transition.
sports when I was growing up.
living
Okay.
My father used to sneak us into the Y because Catholics weren't supposed to go to the Y. But he wanted us to learn to swim, so he used to sneak us in the back door of the Y. But don't tell anybody
living
you're
in the
here.
way the government operates.
Right. But my girls were all swimmers. They didn't swim in college, but they were lifeguards. And as a matter of fact, their coach just passed away. They went to Boston Latin. Their coach just passed away, and they went to the funeral this morning. He was a great guy. Yeah, he was only 72.
4 rooms to a
Anyway,
building.
no. I'd sit in a swim meet much faster than I would. Now, my granddaughter that's your age is a
We
swimmer,
were a
so I
group
go to
of
her swim meets.
Americans that came together with a group of kids who came from Bulgaria to
As
Israel to
you
live.
moved through your life, did
So
your
we got to
definition
know
of
each
success
other.
change?
And living on the kibbutz is quite an experience. It's-
Well, I would say it just became
kibbutz
different
life is
as
all
you got
about
older.
Equality.
When you have children,
And every member of a kibbutz has a vote.
part of what you would call a success is helping them be successful.
There are
And
monthly
being a parent
meetings
is a
of
very
all the
hard job.
members of the kibbutz
I hope you
to
appreciate
make
yours.
decisions about
Yeah.
crops, financial decisions,
Yeah.
We're siblings,
decisions
but
about the
Oh.
kids.
Yeah.
You're both freshmen, though? Oh, no, you're a sophomore.
I'm a sophomore.
Oh.
Were
We also have an older sister in college.
separate housing.
Oh, where is
from
she in
their
school?
parents
She's at UF,
taken care
University of
of.
Florida.
Oh.
So it's not very
Right,
snowy
right,
for
right.
her.
It has been. My sister's down there, and she's been wild that she had to turn her heat on. I said, please.
That way,
For the first time ever, it's finally a
couple
little
had
bit
a
cold.
baby.
Yeah.
The baby
but,
was taken care of during
Much
the day.
warmer than here.
Well, I checked this morning. It's now 60 and 70, so there's
Okay, so they're not. They're not
no
suffering.
sympathy.
Were
No sympathy.
No.
assigned to work.
we need the air
We
conditioning.
did that
Yeah.
until Sylvia got pregnant. And after she was pregnant, we decided
So
that
then you spoke about how you had like your parents and like some friends kind of guide you
so
through
we left the
decisions.
kibbutz
Would you
and
consider
went to
like
live in Tel Aviv.
your family is kind of, or your parents is like
And
your
that's where our daughter
mentors,
was
or would it be like
in Tel Aviv.
would you consider them something different?
I had
like
some
a separate
experience as a
Well, I had mentors along the
refrigeration and air
way.
conditioning technician. I had not been to college at that
I,
point.
when I got into
So I got a
college,
job
the
working
chairman
for
of the math
Westinghouse
department was very much
in
my
Tel
mentor.
Aviv,
Yeah.
doing air conditioning, refrigeration.
He wanted me to go to graduate
installations
school
and
in,
repairs.
pure
So we
mathematics,
stayed
and I'm
home
like,
with
I
our
think I have to get a
baby
job.
And we did that
Then when I
until
went back to graduate school,
1955.
I went down to get my transcripts and to see him, and I brought my girls with me. At the time, were they were they weren't tiny. They were like 8,
So I could go to college,
8, 10,
get
12
a degree
maybe.
in
And
engineering.
he was like, "Are these
and
all
then go
yours?"
back
Yeah.
to Israel,
Because I went back for my
able
MBA.
to
I didn't go,
make a decent
with the
living,
minor in
because working as a technician
systems.
was pretty tough.
But,
making financial ends meet.
my mother and
So we
father
did
were,
that.
were big influences.
October of
Very much
1955,
Pushed
we
us
came
all for
back to the
education, to
United
be
States,
educated, and
to
do
Silver
well.
Spring, Maryland.
then along the
which
way I
is
had
kinda
different,
halfway
on
between
different places I
Washington,
worked.
D.C. and Baltimore.
I had
So his
a
parents
mentor.
were happy to have
My
us go
career
back.
was half in private sector and half in public
I
sector.
have two younger
I had a
brothers
very
and a younger
interesting,
sister,
wonderful career.
And as I said, so is our
And
child.
one of my mentors was a fellow
Daughter
that
in Silver
I worked
Spring,
with in the
Maryland.
public sector. He was
I went to
fabulous and
school
taught me a
to
lot.
study engineering.
So, as I moved through,
We had two more children,
right.
another son, and then another son. So we had. a
Then I
daughter
became a
and two
mentor.
sons.
I love mentoring the young people, and
So
Like, well, obviously,
That's
like
the
your
way
kids,
life
but
went.
like,
we had like an open door policy for all the kids. When you have girls, all girls, people tend to come to your house. Well, in those days, because the boys always came to the house in those days.
I thought
went to
people
work
always went outside to parks and everything. But
Pardon
did-
me?
Would parents like drop off their
company,
kids at a
And
playground?
then I
in the
got a
morning
job
and
with the
just
government,
pick up
with the
and leave?
Navy, doing research in a
I've always,
laboratory
I've actually always thought that
called
was
the
kind of
Naval
like
Ordnance
what
Laboratory.
people
well,
did.
like they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, we used to do that. We used to just, the whole neighborhood would just, because we all went to school together and everything, but then, as you get older, now everything is much more planned.
Yeah.
It's not as,
Naval Ordnance Lab.
the only thing is during the pandemic,
Then
I have twins, grandkids, a boy and a girl. They're 19, they're sophomores in college now. And they were freshmen
navigation system,
during the freshmen and sophomores.
visual and electronic
And my daughter in the house set up 3 work areas, for them so they wouldn't be near each other, supposed to be doing their work.
government
But then at the end of the school day, when the remote learning was finished, there was like a half a dozen kids in the neighborhood. They used to just meet and just go out for a walk for an hour and come back home.
toasters,
And I do think
stuff like that.
that those 2 years that they didn't get to experience, like you guys experience, the parts of growing up when you're a teenager. There's lots of learning that happens in those first 2 years of high school. And by learning, I don't mean academically, because that continues all through, but just the social part of growing up and dealing with people and how you do that.
Working for a company
But
advertising.
they got through all that, and they're just fine.
Left my
Did you say
engineering.
that they went for walks with their friends in the neighborhood?
Right.
Advertising.
That's kind of paradoxical. There was supposed to be in lockdown, but they ended up just walking with their friends a little bit more.
Married.
Yeah, just the ones in the neighborhood that could come out and, they could go walk around, go up to Center Street, maybe get an ice cream at the store, and then they had to be home.
We were
That was a very bad time.
living
Yeah.
in
I'm
Silver
sure that your
Spring,
sister-
Maryland,
What year is your
enjoying
sister
life
in college?
She's a
Oh,
freshman.
yeah, they're sophomores. The twins are sophomores.
So Victoria would have been around the same.
Yeah, she 8th and 9th grade.
21.
Yeah. She always says how she missed her
My wife at age
field day trip,
90
or school trip because of COVID.
Yeah, well, the kids miss their proms, kids miss their
Yeah.
graduations.
Yeah, missing graduation.
Right.
she had
Well,
dementia
when my twins were having their senior prom,
that led
Molly is a little bit of a thing. Their father is Irish, so they look Irish. They look like their cousins. They have, 25 first cousins, because he's one of 8 in Ireland. So they look just like all their Irish cousins. And Molly is a little bit of a thing. So she was working actually in Goldfish and Needham for her part-time job.
We used to go there.
Does she still?
No, not. She did a couple of stints when she was home at Christmas. Molly McDermott.
We used to go there, and I
Yeah.
know someone who works there.
Yeah.
Mr. Austin's.
Yeah. So she came home one day with a brown bag, and one of the girls that worked with her at Goldfish, had given her prom dress that she missed the prom. She didn't get to go to the prom, and she had this dress made in Italy. It was the most gorgeous dress. She's a little bit of a thing, so she had to get it all taken in. But I mean, oh my God, I said, Molly, you don't know how lucky you are. Because I had 3 girls, and I used to call it the East Coast spring trip for the perfect prom dress. Because the 3 of them would be going to proms, and of course you can't wear the same dress to 2 proms. Anyway, that was part of my life for a few years.
So you said you worked in technology.
Right.
So, how has technology changed? First of all, what part of technology did you work in?
Well, I started out coding.
Coding.
Yeah, in the 60s. And that was the day of the defense contracts. There was a lot of defense contracts. So I'll tell you what I used to do, and you're going to laugh. I used to code machines that milled the parts for spaceships.
That's cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
I'm very lucky.
But in those days, first of all, we were using cards on the computer, punching cards.
And has the baby girl.
And
To Wingate every Sunday morning for
there was no visual.
So they'll be here
Like today, if you were doing that same job,
and we get
you'd have a computer with CAD CAM, and you could see everything you were doing and if your coordinates were working.
in April. I will be
We didn't find out till after the part was milled and the customer came back and you looked at it and you saw whether it was right or wrong.
spending the rest of my years here.
Right, a little bit stressful. Yeah. But that was how I started, and then
Son and
I continued
daughter-in-law,
and became a manager,
so I would say
and I implemented.
that I picked this
So I
place
went.
to live.
I worked for the city of Boston.
Better place. Yeah.
That's Ron Hart. He's got a grandson, or he's got a little grandson.
Tell me
But
about what?
you weren't here, but I talked to him for a couple minutes.
He's got a very interesting. Yeah.
I took pictures of his awards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, as a broadcaster.
Yeah. Yeah. With the Capitals. I said we don't talk to the Capitals. But he,
I would say
Adam Oates went from the Bruins to the Capitals. He was one of my favorites. But anyway, so then I went to,
meaningful in my life
the
now
implementation side of things and designing systems and implementing them.
when her 2 boys,
And then
Michael
I
and David,
went to work for the state,
were in their teens.
and it was when Clinton became president. And I went to work for the welfare department because they were writing a whole new system to manage the welfare recipients and all that information.
Mike is an extraordinary.
And we were the first state in the union
respect him a
to
lot.
implement a welfare system from scratch. They used to make you transfer one in from another state and then readjust it.
And he gives back.
So we got an award from Clinton
He's a recovered alcoholic.
for the job that we
He
did.
goes every weekend.
So that was a completely new technology platform. It was when it was the the precursor of,
He is a
see now when you code,
professional writer. He writes
you know, 3 words
for
will
commercial real
do
estate,
what
writes
took us
articles
hundreds and
about
hundreds of lines of code to do.
apartment
So
buildings
I
and
use
shopping
software that
centers
started going in that
for the
direction.
people that are
And one of the pieces of
those
software was
commercial
Oracle,
enterprises.
which is out of, well, it used to be out of California. He now moved the firm to Dallas with Larry Ellison.
He also has
Yeah, so I went to
very
work
strong interest in theater.
for Oracle.
He goes to theater
And
2 or 3
because
times
I
a
was the
week,
first
and he
implementation
writes
in the
reviews.
Northeast of their
So usually he
software.
gets complimentary tickets
And they hired me to
attends a
talk to
play,
the customers
and
and
writes
the
a
salespeople
for the play
of what
to appear in the local
public
newspaper.
service customers would need.
Mike and Erica
You know, how you would talk to them.
come
You know,
to
you
my
don't go in
apartment
with your,
every
you
Monday
know, your
night,
Rolex, your
and we
people that
watch
are
the
making,
news
you know,
together.
a
And
tenth
they
of what
also
you're
join
making. And
me
you
every Sunday morning
have to be able to identify
brunch
their
with
needs and do that. So I did
Erica's
that for a
son
while.
and daughter-in-law and the baby.
And then my last job, so
Mike is
I
an
went from
extraordinary individual.
implementing
I respect
technology
him,
and managing systems
he's a
implementation
shining light for me.
to the sales side, which was
Yes.
like a whole different world.
Yeah.
And then my last job was working for Tom O'Neill, who was Tip O'Neill's son. He used to be the Speaker of the House
No, I haven't
after
had
John
that
McCormick.
experience.
Massachusetts had a long
I'm
history
just not,
of
I'm not plugged into
Massachusetts
that
Speakers
part
of the
of
House,
Native
which is a very,
society.
very powerful position.
Yeah.
So we had John McCormick for years, and then we had Tip O'Neill. Well, I worked for his son, Tom O'Neill. I worked as a lobbyist for technology projects. So that was a whole change, a little bit different take.
That's a lot of talking.
Yeah, but I got to,
well, I'm not sure
I love
understood
politics,
your question.
so I got to enjoy the whole political arena.
Yeah.
Like Pelosi used to come in all the time, Kennedy, I mean, the whole
Events in
honor
Needham?
roll of Democratic politicians,
Give me
because
an
of course they all
example.
worked with his father, and yeah,
Well, I know.
and that was my
I have
last
been
job
to a
before I
few,
retared and became a full-time
Needham
grandmother,
events like there's
which was
every
also a
spring
good job.
there's a flower show.
I love being a
and
grandmother.
So you were like
there's an
very,
art show
very
in the
close to like
library.
a ton of politicians.
I've
Right.
been to that
Right.
a
So
couple
like
of
you
times.
started your career as like a coder.
Right.
Coders are not usually known
And
for being
sometimes I go to the senior center in Needham,
best at
and that seems a nice
talking
place
to people. If that
to be.
doesn't,
No, no, I understand what
But
you're
as
saying.
far as
I have a grandson who's an
Needham
electrical engineer.
events,
He's a real coder.
I
I mean, he does. He went to a summer program at MIT when he was in high school, when he was, you know, trying to decide. Hi, Ron.
Hi, do you want to conduct just with one person, or could I join you?
yeah, sure, you can join.
We were just talking about you. And
Uh-oh.
here you show up with your Capitol shirt.
Well,
I was
that's-
telling them how you took Adam Oates from us.
I like to try to keep up with technology.
Yeah, I think I told maybe you before
Yeah.
that
ChatGPT on my
I was their
phone.
original
I do
broadcaster.
use AI
1974 to 1997, I did almost 2,000 games in a row.
engineer in Seattle.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I took pictures of the plaques in your room.
Oh, yes. I thank you for your interest in it.
Yeah.
Boy, isn't this beautiful? Yeah.
When you don't have to be out in it, Ron.
Oh, I wouldn't mind being out of it. The thing is, at my age, I don't think it's smart for me to be walking around.
Right.
I might hit some ice covered by the snow and
About myself.
fall down. We tend to break bones easily when we get our age.
Useful just in general.
Anything I can,
We were just talking about
Information
the personalities of technology
medical
people.
things.
nerds,
Nerds, that's what we're talking. I was telling them about my grandson went to MIT for a couple of weeks one summer.
So I do.
And then they had like a
use
graduation, and,
internet
you know, we got to talk to the
iPhone
professors that
messaging
had
on a
conducted
regular
the summer
basis.
program, and I couldn't believe
and we
the
have
program that he wrote. He
a
was
new
like
system
apologizing,
here
screaming, I didn't have time
in
to pretty it
Wingate
up and all
called
this, but like I said,
Cubigo,
now, this is
It's
2
a
generations later,
closed network
10
for people
coding
who live
sentences
here
do as
in
much as,
Wingate.
you know, 1,000 when I
and
was
it's interactive.
starting out. you know, it's so much more compressed and it's
let me show you
so much more thought to it.
what
He's now doing his master's, and I keep saying, so tell me again, Michael, what is it you're getting your master's in?
So this
Signaling
is Kubigo,
computation
and you see information
between the computer and music.
programs, committees,
Never heard of it.
Sounds complicated.
transportation.
Sounds complicated.
Sounds over my head.
So it's a useful thing.
That's what he did
for
his
us to
thesis, his senior
communicate
thesis
with
in
each other
college
and with
on.
the staff.
He
And,
designed a computer that
The menus
composed music.
of dinner and the
How you do
dining
that
room
is
appear
completely
here,
beyond me, but
so you can know in advance
he loves music
what
and he
you're
loves the
gonna
computer.
be offered for dinner.
But anyway,
and,
so,
all
but
the
he's also
activities
very
are listed here.
sociable.
And then
But you might call him a little
contact
bit more of a
information for all
nerd
the
than me. I was
residents and
never a
all the
nerd.
staff. So that's a handy.
I was
thing
nerdy
to use.
looking,
So
but I wasn't nerdy.
I think
I wasn't a full,
I'm not an
true
expert
nerd.
in technology, but I think
Well, you interacted
happy
with,
to have it
as a broadcaster,
and
do you have to
use it to
interact
my
with
own
people,
benefit.
or is it
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
Well,
said-
in a way, although my dad was a college professor, and I said, we both made a living talking to people, only I can't see my audience
Right, right, right.
over radio or TV, you know. They're out there, and you know there's a lot of them, but
I didn't know
you
what to
don't
make
see
of it.
them, so.
Yeah.
But, you know, that
was,
doesn't mean I didn't interact
you
with
know, it
people
was strange.
that would,
I didn't
there were
use
some
it when I
person-
first came out.
you know, somebody
Although
might recognize me
I
and
had
say, and we start
an
chatting
Apple
in person, or
laptop
occasionally be
very
asked to
early on.
address a Kiwanis Club or a high school, well, not the graduation ceremony, but you know, appear at a high school
the internet
for seniors about to graduate.
could be useful to me. But yeah, it didn't take me too long
Is there any
to
like politics in
appreciate
broadcasting? Is there
that.
like
It's a good tool.
social dynamics?
Sure that-
Well, you always had bosses, and sometimes what they wanted you to do and say,
definition of
I
being
didn't think
successful.
was the right thing, but you'd sort of have to at least do it halfway their way, like. But I was lucky. I lasted through.
Success
In 23 years, I guess I had about 5 bosses, and only the
primarily
5th one got rid of
in
me.
the form of interpersonal relationships. It's all
But
people
in
related.
radio and TV, as
No matter what
a
you
guy,
do
the one year I did the
for
Twins,
a living.
I got into sportscasting
you're
and wanted to
an
do baseball
engineer
play-by-play.
or
I
an
did 1 year with the
accountant or a
Twins, and that year I was the second banana, you might say,
of
to the
that
longtime broadcaster. He was a very good
has
guy and
much
very
meaning
had
for
a
you
terrific voice.
you don't
Made me
have
sound like this,
good
I thought.
family and
Anyway,
friend
Herb says he
connections.
viewed with suspicion anybody in our industry that hadn't got fired at least once or twice,
Relationships
because it's
with
just
the
that way.
individuals who you love in
Yeah, I
your
think
life,
no matter what you do,
family,
there's
and
always
your
politics
close
with a
friends.
small p.
Having
And then
those
there's the
good
whole big deal politics.
interactions. and
Well,
I
luckily-
mean, I think there's always politics in a job, no matter.
are
I didn't get into it as much as somebody doing newscasts.
meaningful success.
Like, for one thing, like a lot of the projects that I worked on, there was always, of course, a money
Yeah, it was nice
component.
talking with you too.
And you used
Thanks
to have
for
to
the interview.
justify
I
all
appreciate
that
it.
and be very careful about what you said and did and how you used that. You were always accountable, because these were big, you know, multi-million-dollar projects. And you had to
Well, can you kill that?
Is that more so for the
Yeah.
public sector or private sector for considerations of money?
mostly public
I would
sector, because
say-
I was responsible for the projects that had to, because the money would
First
be
and
allocated from the
foremost, like I've
legislature,
said
and then you had
before,
to, or from the
most
federal
important
government,
thing in your life
and you had to account for
is
that all
not
the
the
time.
Were
internet
there times like you had to say no
And
because
not
of like
AI.
your values as like a
and
person?
not cars and not airplanes, not things. People. People.
Or like someone asked you to say
People.
something but you didn't want to
That's,
say or
I
something?
think, the most important.
Rarely, of course.
Yeah, I would say.
What I did, I was one of a kind. In other words, I almost never had to
What
go
do
to
you do
meetings,
with the
which to me is a good
information?
thing.
Can't say the same.
Because I didn't work inside the radio or TV station. The last half of my career, I was doing games which were out. It might be a home game, or it might be in Vancouver, you know. So I wasn't around my bosses or my fellow workers much. In fact, I'd go in there in September as we plan
Right.
how many commercials and how to handle things like that. But once the season started, about the only time I went in there to get my paycheck once a
And
month.
have
And-
you
and
lived
check
all
the
That's
your
when
fa-
you
life
had to
in
go in
Needham?
and get your paycheck.
And check the,
Oh, you had to.
Yeah,
It's a nice
and
town.
check
that's
the,
how you got your paycheck delivered to you.
So,
Oh, so you
Yeah,
actually had
there
to-
was no such thing as direct deposit or, things like that. And then you went to the bank and put it in the bank. You have to stand in
That's
line
too
with
many
everybody
steps.
else that was getting paid
but
that day,
have there
yeah.
been years
And I also
when
sometimes
Needham
they
was
would-
had a good football
see the
team?
engineer at the home games, the remote, he would be working other days at the station, and I'd ask him to pick up any mail I might have, either something from the station people or fan mail.
So, when you're in
And
school,
that kept me from,
what do you do for
about, I
lunch?
guess still about once, or maybe twice a month, I would go in to pick up mail. Or sometimes get new commercials.
commercials like you do the commercials or like
Not most of them. Almost all of them were recorded.
And
But
so do
occasionally
you
I'd
eat
have,
in the cafeteria?
I don't know, if we had 16 commercials commercial breaks during the game,
Yeah.
I might
see
have
a bunch of
to
kids
say a live one
Coming across
3
the street
times.
to
maybe.
get a
That's
pizza. or
mostly,
something.
mostly.
You're technically, as a freshman, not supposed to do that, but no one.
It was the same way working. In the first half of my career, I did a lot of work in what they call the audio booth, sitting on the
Walk or
television.
ride to school?
Sometimes all I said was,
You drive?
Channel 16, Salisbury. I was stationed in Maryland. I started working for. Other times I'd have to read a live,
wow.
read a
And how
commercial.
far are you from the school?
And then sometimes you're there introducing. And now with the local news, here's John B. Greenberg.
is that
You
your
know.
I wish
radio
you a lot of
voice?
luck in your career at Needham High School.
Well, I didn't have real pearly tones, but they were good enough to employ me for 44 years.
Right. They were fine for hockey,
Yeah.
yeah, fine.
Well,
for
luckily, as I said, my brain connected to my mouth rather directly, so what I see I could quickly talk about. You needed that in hockey because that puck moves fast.
Right.
Not as fast as the skiers I was watching today.
We were
They're
just
down.
watching
The women's hockey just won against Finland, 5-1,
Oh,
5-0.
Thank you. I was going to watch the end of it. Now I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay because
They'll be
there's
playing
plenty
it
of.
again tonight.
Yeah, it was.
I-
Speaking of that, how incredible is this? Okay, I broadcast about 400 Washington Capitals in 23 years, but 2 of them have daughters playing for the women's hockey team,
Yeah.
and in the win over the Czech Republic 2 days ago,
Yeah.
3 of the 5 goals were scored by those 2 daughters whose fathers I broadcast.
Oh, wow. Well, there's
Alex
so many
Carpenter.
connections in the women's hockey because a lot of the foreigners, is that the right word? That's probably not politically correct. The women that are not American
I
citizens.
think it.
But they came to America to go to school. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's 4 University of Wisconsin girls between the Finland team and the US team.
Oh, really? Neat.
University of Wisconsin, South Dakota, all the hockey powerhouses.
Yeah, I think. So we fence,
Oh,
and I think there's like a shift now. Like a lot of the people being recruited now are from like different countries.
oh, is that right?
Fencing.
Yeah, fencing. Yeah, that's
Where is it popular?
What do you use? Epee?
no, I'm a saberist.
Saber?
Yeah, saber.
Saber as
yeah,
well.
Saber.
You know
Not many
there's
people
3
know the
kinds.
difference.
Yeah, most people don't
Epee,
know.
saber, and
Foil.
Foil.
foil. Thank
yeah.
you.
And most people
Foil's the
think it's
thin
just
one, right?
You didn't give me time to think about it.
Yeah, foil's like the smallest one.
Like this?
Yeah.
We do the
And
fast
and
one,
the what do you call it? The V shape of your
The
feet,
guard.
right?
Oh,
One
the
foot
guard.
straight ahead.
Yeah.
One.
yeah. Did you use defense?
No, but I paid attention to it. I tried to pay attention to all sports. So when,
Yeah, how did you get involved with that?
Our older sister. They offered it at their school. No. I
so your
forget.
brother and sister?
We're brothers.
Okay,
We're
all
siblings.
right.
So she did it, and then my mom was like, "Do you guys want to try it?" I was like, "What is it?" It's like hit people with swords. I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, that sounds like fun."
Oh.
So then I tried it, and I liked it, so we're still doing it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you have to travel for competitions and
About
stuff?
once a month.
That's what the
Once
average
a month,
family of
like-
three is making.
What colleges are big in fencing?
Definitely Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's pretty.
Oh,
It's like
nice.
it's like the best fencing.
No,
Is it?
Harvard.
Harvard,
Harvard's
but Notre Dame's like pretty up there though.
Harvard
And
has a
Columbia.
I think back in my time, I believe it was Fordham, and it was a university in New York City that was.
NYU.
Could have been NYU. That's I'm not
NYU's
sure.
a team.
My first thought was Fordham, but it might have been.
Columbia has a good team.
Columbia's
Oh,
really
that could have been it.
Yale has a good team.
But that's
So
when
they
I
didn't
was.
start with the Ivies, like Yale, huh?
Well, of course, there are other schools like that have like Div 3 fencing.
UCSD.
Oh, yeah.
Santa
My daughter-
Barbara.
My youngest
MIT is
daughter
Div
got
3.
it,
And then there's other schools like in the south, like Duke.
Do they give scholarships?
More so to girls. I think there's like a rule now where like you have to have even number of scholarships for boys and girls, and boys usually takes
Well,
like
that's the
football.
Title 19.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
boys takes like football, so like I guess girls would take more like fencing or field hockey or sports like that. And there also are some schools that like only have women's fencing, like Brown only has women's fencing, I think, right?
Yeah, but I think someone's trying to expand it. I think it's getting
Yeah,
more popular.
it's becoming more popular.
Well, good luck in that.
Yeah, how many students do you have involved in that at your school?
In the what?
In your school, how many students are involved in fencing?
Fencing?
Kind of. Well, there is a club in our school. We do it kind of like.
We do
Yeah,
outside.
it's a club sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not too popular at our school by itself. But yeah, but it's I've seen it like oh, you know the curling or
Curling.
curling? Yeah, at the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Curdling is something that happens to butter.
Like the USA fencing team and like the curling team had like a collaboration, and they did it on Instagram, and so I feel like the fencing's been more out there recently.
Yeah, it's growing as a sport.
Here's a fact on curling. They use a special kind of granite. In other words, a Vermont or New Hampshire granite is not good enough. They only get it from two places in the
Italy.
world, this special dense granite that they make the stones that the curlers push.
Yeah.
And one of the places I've seen it is an island off of either Ireland or Scotland. I think it's
Very
Scotland.
specific.
Ailsa, Ailsa, Ailsa Island, where it has that, and that's where this year's Olympic stones have come from. And I've seen that place. There was a joke about it because there's a lot of rain in that area. They say if you look out and you can see the island. If you can't see the island, it's raining. If you can see the island, it's going to rain shortly.
There's a lot of
It's
rain in
fixing to
Ireland.
rain, is the way they say it.
Yeah, sometimes.
But
Does your sister fence in college?
No, she stopped it.
She does club field hockey though.
Oh, yeah.
She has dyslexia, so it's like a little bit harder for her to see like the blades and process it in time. So she switched during high school to field hockey.
Yeah.
it's harder to see in curling would bother.
No, for
Fencing.
my older sister, who's
Yeah.
in college right now, she does club field hockey, and she used to fence, but she stopped freshman year of high school because she has like dyslexia and she can't process
Blades are
everything
small.
at a very fast speed. So she's doing field hockey now.
I
She
see. I
likes-
didn't think it would affect them. I didn't know.
Yeah, so she likes field hockey a lot more.
Yeah. I couldn't play field hockey. Even though I could bat either way, it feels awkward to hold a stick this way. I want to hold it this way.
It's like
And you can't in field hockey. Everybody has to play right-handed in field hockey.
Yeah.
Do they? Oh, I didn't
it's
know.
like
Yeah.
only like one side you
side.
can really hit
Yeah.
it from.
And you even have to turn the thing around to hit the
I
back.
did it for a bit as well. I didn't enjoy it too much.
But see, I want to play it this way. I wouldn't be as good.
Well, everybody has their different sports.
Yeah,
Well, what field hockey's big in places like Pakistan and stuff,
big
right?
in Europe, I think.
It is.
Well, it's big here, too.
Yeah.
And lacrosse is big. It's getting
Yeah.
really big.
Well, field hockey in the U.S. is mostly like women's field hockey.
Right.
Europe has more male, but like there's like no male field hockey in the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned lacrosse. That's a sport where it's really good to be either way. That you can
Yeah.
handle because you can fend off. You know, and there are times when shooting this way and shooting that way would be good to be able to do both.
Yeah, one of my grandnephews does the club lacrosse. And he lives in Seattle, but he goes all over. Oh yeah, we have a fierce family battle going on right now.
Right now?
Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy.
I like lacrosse. That's just tell us that it's time for me to go play bingo. Any last comment you'd like to get from
Can
me?
you say something in your radio voice?
Well,
Anything.
welcome to the 25th Olympiad of the winter sports.
Yeah.
That's good. All right.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah. Are you going to play bingo?
No,
No.
I'm gonna play Scrabble.
Scrabble. Play Scrabble.
I'm a puzzle person.
All right.
But my nephew, my grandnephew, he's only, his birthday is October, so he's not a freshman. He's an eighth grader.
Oh, yeah.
Though he has two cousins, my granddaughter and another grandnephew. They have birthdays in June, so they're freshmen. And then he travels, like, he lives in Seattle. He'll go to Florida. He's going to Princeton, New Jersey for a tournament. Like, he's only in the eighth grade. I mean, it's, he needs to take a little break before, because you have your whole high school years, and then you get sick of it by the time you get to be, the senior, and it's
Having
becoming.
good parents is kind of a necessity.
But anyway, the only good thing is when she comes to the East Coast, we get to see them.
Yeah.
Because we don't go. We used to go. My sister and I used to go out to see it. It's her daughter and grandkids. But now the kids are traveling all the time. The daughter plays soccer, and she's traveling all over with the soccer. So, and she's only in the fourth grade.
Wow.
It's crazy. Anyway, anything else before you wrap up here?
I think we covered a lot.
Okay. Well, you'll have to condense that and get it down to whatever you have to do. But it was nice talking to you, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.